Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So I've always been kind of obsessed with the idea of making money online, right? Since I finished school, I was looking for a way to make money that actually didn't involve working for someone else. Something that I could build and scale on my own terms. And back in 2019, I stumbled across the whole Amazon FBA world. I didn't have any background in e-commerce or marketing or anything like that. But I thought, why not? So I jumped in, it looked good, and I started learning as I went. And honestly, it was a lot of trial and error in the beginning, especially in the beginning. It was a leap into the unknown, but I was motivated. I spent a lot of time studying, testing, figuring things out on my own. And that's basically how this business came to life, completely from scratch, built step by step. And I've been running it solo ever since.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Yeah, that's a fair question. Actually, I've been thinking about it a lot. The business is doing well now. It's stable. It has a solid foundation. But after more than 5 years of building and running it completely on my own, I just feel like I'm ready for something different. A couple of years ago, I started a new project, a second business in the children's publishing space. And that's taken off in a way I didn't expect. And it's more creative, more fulfilling for me personally. And at this point, I just can't give both businesses the attention they deserve. So rather than let this one stagnate or become a side project, I'd rather round it off while it's in a strong position and hopefully let someone else scale it properly, especially someone with maybe a team or more energy to push things forward. I strongly believe there is still a lot of potential here and just makes sense to pass the torch.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Yeah. So the day-to-day is actually pretty light. I've built the business to be as lean and automated as possible. On a weekly basis, I'd say I spend around 4 to 6 hours. Most of that goes into checking inventory levels and keeping an eye on sales performance and placing reorders with the supplier if needed. I also check in on the PPC campaigns just to make sure that things are running smoothly, though the advertising side has always been kept pretty basic. Then maybe once a month, I'll review reports, check margins, and coordinate with the freight forwarder for any incoming shipments. Customer service isn't something I have to deal with since everything is FBA and Amazon handles returns and support. So yeah, it's a simple and low maintenance setup. It runs well as a sole operation, but there is definitely room to scale if someone wants to get more aggressive with marketing or expand to new marketplace.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
So the very first thing I will do will be expanding in the US market. Right now, we are selling in the main European marketplaces, and the products already have a strong review base, which will make launching in the US way easier, since you can carry over that social proof. And obviously, the US is a massive market with a lot of upside. The second will be scaling the advertising 100%. Up to now, I have kept the pay-per-click campaigns and their structure pretty basic, just covering the essentials. But I believe with someone who knows how to run more aggressive or optimized campaigns, there is definitely room to increase visibility and drive more sales without killing margins. And finally, as volume hopefully grows, it'll be possible to negotiate way better shipping rates or even lower production costs. So profitability could go up just by scaling smart. So yeah, it's a solid base with real opportunities for growth, especially for someone with more time, a team, or experience in just scaling FBA brands.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Well, like with any FBA businesses, there are a few risks to keep in mind. Nothing unusual, but they're worth mentioning. The first one is definitely you are dependent on Amazon itself. Since all sales go through the platform, changes in their policies, fees, or algorithm can have an impact. That said, we've always followed best practices and the account has a clean history, so never had a single warning or issue at all. Another thing to watch is stock management. Really important. Since production and shipping come from China, they have long leads. Lead times are not short. So it's important to plan ahead. And if you underestimate demand or delays hit, you could go out of stock, which, as you might know, Amazon ranking is affected and you might lose momentum. But if you are organized, that's definitely manageable. And lastly, I will say that while the product niche is stable, competition on Amazon is always evolving. So staying on top of your listing, pricing, and ad performance is key. Again, nothing unusual, just part of the game with FBA. So yeah, I believe that these are the typical risk for this business model. But with the right management and planning, they're really, really controllable.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I am more than happy to support the buyer through the transition. Officially, I am offering 30 days of support via email or calls, whatever works best for them, to help with things like supplier handover, inventory planning, Amazon account management, pay-per-click, and anything else they might need to feel comfortable running the business. I also plan to share all documentation, SOPs, and personal tips that I've developed over the years. And beyond that, if they need extra help with something critical after the 30 days, I'm open to being flexible. My goal is to make sure that the transition is smooth and the buyer feels confident taking over.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earnout agreement?
At this stage, I'm looking for a clean and full exit. So I'm not open to an earnout structure. I've built and run the business entirely on my own. So I prefer to keep things simple, with everything transfer and settle at once.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
Yeah, if I were the buyer, I'd say this is a really solid business to jump into. And here's why. First, it's simple and easy to run, even solo. All the heavy lifting, like product sourcing, branding, logistics, and listing, is already done. So you're not starting from scratch. You're stepping into something that's already working very well. The fundamentals are strong, good reviews, healthy margins, and a reliable supplier who's actually one of the top guys in this niche. Right now, the business sells in several European marketplaces. but there is plenty of room to grow, not only across Europe, but potentially worldwide. There's also a lot of growth potential. I've kept things pretty lean by choice, but someone with more time or a team could really scale up advertising, maybe enter the US market, or actually, why not building a DTC website? So you're buying not just what a business is now, but also what it could become. And yeah, I wish whoever buys this all the best. I hope they enjoy growing it as much as I have.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.